You can use InDesign to design anything from a one-sided business card to a book thousands of pages long. But as soon as you go beyond that business card, you're going to need to learn how to manage your pages, adding new pages, moving them around, deleting them, and so on. So that's what we're going to cover here in this movie. Now, all of these page management features show up in two places in InDesign: the Pages submenu here underneath the Layout menu, and the Pages panel. But I always use the Pages panel because all of the features from the Layout menu are here in the Pages panel, plus a lot more. So let's focus here in the Pages panel. Now, this Pages panel is designed to look a lot like the Document Setup panel from Quark Express. So if you're a Quark Express user, this is going to look pretty familiar. That said, it's not necessarily the most efficient setup of this panel, and you can customize it to be a little bit more efficient by going to the Pages panel pop-out menu, this flyout menu in the upper right corner, and choosing Panel Options. Here's what I usually do. First, I turn off the Show Vertically checkbox. Then, in some cases, I'll make my Pages thumbnails be a little bit larger. That way it's easier to see the thumbnails in the Pages panel. There are a bunch of other options here that I encourage you to try out because it can really make your experience of the Pages panel more efficient. I'm going to stop there and click OK, and you can see that the thumbnails got a little bit bigger so I can see them better, and they're now laid out horizontally. So if I make this wider, I can get more pages in a smaller amount of vertical space. To me, it's a better use of the screen real estate, so that's what I like doing. Okay, let's see how we can add a new page into this document. First, I'm going to select a page or spread in my document that I want to add a page after, and then I can do one of two things. I could simply click this New Page button down in the bottom part of the Pages panel, and that'll add a single page, we can see it here in the Pages panel, after whatever was selected. So that's kind of handy. Now, I don't want just one page there. I'm going to say I want 2 pages there to maintain the left-right order of my spread. So I'm going to undo that with a Command-Z or a Control-Z on Windows. And instead of clicking on this, I'm going to hold down the Option key or the Alt key on Windows while I click. That gives me the Insert Pages dialog box, which lets me control exactly how many pages I want to add and where they should go. For example, I'm going to say I want 2 pages after page 3. I'll click OK, and you can see that immediately I get a new spread, both pages blank, after my 2-3 spread. In general, when you're working with a Facing Pages document, files that have a left-hand page and a right-hand page, it's a good idea to add or remove even number of pages, like we did here with adding 2 pages instead of just 1. That way, the left-hand pages don't get turned into right-hand pages and vice versa. It's not a terrible thing if that happens, but it can cause some layout problems downstream, so it's a good thing to keep in mind. Now here's another way to add new pages. Do it by duplicating pages that are already there. I'm going to duplicate this 2-3 spread and put it right after itself, so I've got 2 of exactly the same. To do that, you simply drag the numbers underneath the spread while holding down the Option or Alt key. That way you're telling InDesign to duplicate. Now, whenever you're dragging things around the Pages panel, you want to pay attention to the cursor and the little lines that show up. This is a very important aspect of the Pages panel. I see as I'm dragging this that I have a very thick vertical line where the cursor is, and that means when I let go, the pages are going to be added there. If I drag down here, you see the vertical line shows up between these 2 spreads, the pages just after page 7. That means that it will be added there. So pay attention to that dark vertical line. Now in this case, I'm going to add it after page 3, so I'll let go of the mouse button, and you can see that I now have 2 spreads, page 2 and 3 here, and page 4 and 5 here, but I don't know if you can see well in the thumbnails, but those are identical spreads. They're clones. Now let's say I want to duplicate the cover page here. I'm going to hold down the Option or Alt key and start dragging, but in this case, I'm going to drag out here where there's no spreads, there's no dark vertical line there. All I see is a cursor with a little plus sign inside that hand. That means something different than that vertical line. That means add it to the document at the end of the document. So I'll let go of the mouse button there, and you'll see that it gets added as a page 13 at the very end of this document. So once again, paying attention to those cursors and the icons that show up in the Pages panel is very important. Now let's go ahead and delete some of these pages. I want to delete these blank pages 6 and 7, so I'll click on the numbers underneath the spread, and that selects them. And then I can delete them by simply clicking on the trash can icon in the lower right corner of the Pages panel. Poof, they're gone. Now I'm going to delete some other pages. Let's say I want to delete page 3 and 7 and 8 and 9. I can do that by first selecting page 3 by clicking on it. Then I'm going to hold down the Command or Control key and select page 7. The Command or Control key lets me select multiple pages that are not next to each other. But now that I've selected page 7, if I want to add 8 and 9 on there, I can hold on the Shift key. The Shift key is good for selecting contiguous items in the Pages panel here. In other words, pages that are from this page all the way to this page. So I now have pages 3, 7, 8, and 9 selected, and I can delete all of them with one click. Now, InDesign does warn me that these pages have objects on them, so that can be handy in case you were not expecting that, I suppose. But in general, I just turn on the Don't Show Again checkbox and I don't worry about it. Because if I delete a page, I want it deleted. I know I want it deleted. So there you go. All of those pages are now deleted. Okay, there's one other technique in the Pages panel that I need to point out, and that is moving pages. Let's say I want to move this page 3 down to the end of the document. How do I get it down there? Well, you guessed it. You just drag it and drop it. But pay attention to the cursor. I want to drop it when I see that dark vertical line. That means place it here. If I don't see that, I'm not sure exactly where it's going to go. Let's move that same page up before page 2. So I drag it up until I see that vertical bar, let go of it, and now it adds it before page 2. So moving pages is that simple. However, if you wanted to move a lot of pages, or if you want to specify exactly where a page should go, I'm going to recommend that you instead select the pages that you want to move. I just clicked on the 4 or 5 numbers below here to move this whole spread. So select the pages that you want to move, and then either choose from the flyout menu, Move Pages, or just right-click on them, and you get the context menu, and you can choose Move Pages here. So I choose Move Pages, and I can say Move Pages 4 and 5. You see it preloaded the numbers for me, although I could change that if I want to. I could say Move Pages 4 through 6, let's say. After page whatever. I could say move it after page 7 here, or, this is really cool, I could even put it in a different document if I had one open. Let's go ahead and click cancel and I'll show you that. I'm going to create a new document here, another Facing Pages document. I'll come back here and I'm going to say I want to grab all of these pages, let's say 4 through 6, and move them to my new document. There we go, there's Untitled 5, the new one that I created. Click OK, and it looks like nothing happened, but as soon as I go back to this new document, there are my pages. So this is a very fast way to move pages around within a document or from one document to another. Managing your pages and spreads is crucial when creating a magazine or any long document. But now that you know these basic techniques, you'll have no trouble at all.